Welcome to our third Prime Patio training video. Today we'll be covering the installation techniques of our product line. We'll also be going over the two installation kits that we have developed and showing how those will work. Also, if you recall from our last training video, there's two different options for installation. We have the 12-volt installation as well as a 120-volt installation. Now both of these options will allow you to install pretty much any type of or work with any type of patio lighting installation that is required. So you can do it with the 12-volt low voltage option, tie into an existing landscape lighting line, or with or as a standalone low voltage installation. Also, you can do a 120-volt installation by just plugging it directly into a 120-volt circuit. Now let's move on to how to install these products using our Prime Patio installation kits. The first thing you need to think about is your design. First, look at the space you'll be lighting and consider its use. How much light is needed? For areas where more light for greater visibility is desired, you'll want to increase the density of the lights. In other words, you'll want to hang a greater number of lights. Second, determine the pattern. You can hang the lights in parallel rows, a zigzag pattern, a single strand outlining the perimeter, a fan, or even if you're feeling creative, you can come up with your own shape. Keep in mind that the pattern contributes to the overall aesthetics of the job. Next, identify available supports and anchor points. Clarify whether your installation will be on a structure or if it will need a guide wire. We recommend you use guide wire for any length that spans 20 feet or more. Using a guide wire will keep the strands in place, prevent drooping, and create a clean, professional look. In some cases, you may have to get creative and build your own supports, as we did at a recent install using some timbers. Lastly, decide how much swag you want. Swag is the amount of slack you allow between each anchor point. You can have a combination of long, short, shallow, or deep. A word of caution though, swag in moderation, as too much swag can just make it look messy. Swag may be decided simply by the layout of your supports and anchor points. Consider using a guide wire if the swag may be too much. Once density, pattern, supports, anchor points, and swag are all finalized, it is important to figure out the proper spacing so you don't get lamps hanging in places you don't want them to be. By proper spacing, I'm referring to the 24-inch spacing between sockets, laying out your design so that lights are hanging where you want them to be, not up against the structure or somewhere where they will not look good. It will also help you know where you should create your splices. Roughly lay out the wire before drilling any holes or installing any anchors. Now that your design and details are figured out, it is time to hang the lights. Locate your planned anchor points and use the correct pieces from the installation kits to create a sturdy anchor. We recommend lock bolts with eye nuts, eye screws, and ceiling hooks. Here's what each component in the suspended cable kit is for and how you use it. Lock bolts and eye nuts. For anchor points on concrete or brick, drill a hole, tap in the lock bolt, and tighten and thread on the anchor. Eye screws. For anchor points on wood, drill a hole and thread in the eye screw. Rope clamps. Run wire through one hole on one end and back through the other hole on the other end, creating a loop. Adjust as needed. Cable. Secure between two anchor points. Turnbuckles. First, loosen the turnbuckle. Then, with the cable connected to the hooks on the turnbuckle, tighten the turnbuckle to tighten up the cable. Zip ties. Connect the socket eyelets to the suspended wire. Cut the excess piece off of the zip tie. Here is what each component in the structural kit is for and how you use it. Ceiling hooks. Drill a hole into the wood structure and thread in the ceiling hook, either hanging down or to the side. Nylon cable clamps and screws. These are used together to secure the wire to the structure. For your custom installations, both 12 volt and 120 volt, there are a variety of tools as well as splicing options that will help you have a successful install. Once the wire is attached, screw in the lamps. We hope you don't need any help with this. It is important that you have the correct lamps for the installation so that you are not installing 12-volt lamps on a 120-volt installation, for example. The last step is to connect the lights to power. The most important thing to remember here is whether you are installing 12-volt or 120-volt lights. 12-volt lighting will connect right into a landscape lighting transformer, while 120-volt lighting can be plugged into a regular 120-volt circuit. For custom 120-volt installations, use a UL-listed 120-volt male plug. Be sure to follow all safety and electrical standards for your state. If you find that once you finish the install, turn on the lights and find that the light is not working, try turning the lamp a little more. If nothing happens, turn off the power, remove the lamp, then slightly bend up the tab in the bottom of the socket, and then thread in the lamp and plug it in again. In most instances, that will remedy the situation. If you did any custom connections, verify all of those are working as well. Now that you know how to install patio lighting as we've shown you today, what are you waiting for? Get out there and start selling. In our next video training segment, we will be covering different types of applications as well as covering different issues that you may face in your installation. Also covering ways to support your customers. Thanks for watching. Happy hanging.